So my first question is obviously the album's just come out a couple of weeks ago now. Feels like it's gone down a storm, right?
Yeah, it seems to be going over well. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
We've had a lot of positive feedback. We've had a lot of just really. I don't want to use the term unexpected, but it's more than we thought was. You know, Especially given our previous catalog. So it was a nice surprise. So
Oh, good. And what kind of went into the decision of holding off on releasing it on streaming? Because you're just doing physical releases, right?
yeah, so we had decided a little bit. We had gotten some advice from kind of an executive from he was in an A&R rep from a record label who
Mm.
basically said that to do it right, there's just certain things you're gonna have to have. So we decided to kind of go into a hybrid release mode where we were actually able to recamp some cost for that. So because I mean, I saw basically a calculation that for every one CD that you sell or you make $10 on, um, you have to have five to 7,000 Spotify streams.
Yes. Yeah.
So, in when you're a growing band and you're trying to grow, and I mean, I wouldn't say you know we're very I don't know how to put this, but like we're not on like the levels of Metallica at this point. So
Yeah.
so it's so every dollar counts right now. So we it was kind of due in part to being able to recount some of our costs, but then we do have a large portion of our fan base who just thoroughly enjoy having the physical copy. They'd rather have the CD or the vinyl record in hand, which is it's cool. So it kind of gives them the opportunity to say, I heard all of this before
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You know
True.
what I mean? So we want to give something to our fans in that regard. So if it's like, hey, if you take the initiative and you help us out, you get to be some of the first to listen to some new music. So I think that's cool too.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool way of looking at it.
Yep.
And then how would you describe your sound? I know I was obviously getting a lot of the kind of southern rock and stuff in there, but it wasn't just that. Is there anything else kind of inspiration wise that you draw from?
Oh man, yeah, I would just say our music is very southern influenced. I mean, and I hate to, and I know that's a very broad stroke term, but you look at our music and it's got the southern rock, it's got the outlaw country, it's got the kind of the traditional country stuff in it, but it's got aspects of some of the like Otis Redding R&B in it, and it's got some blues in it, and so it's like a just a hodgepodge of just of all southern music kind of meshed into one. So I mean, and I would just say southern music in general because there's aspects of it that are even have gospel elements in it,
Mm.
and that's very big, where we're from. So it's very indicative of the music from our area. I mean, it just really is, and um, so we grew up listening to everything. So where from my dad was traditional country artist for years. So when we were listening, it was always you know the Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But then we get in the car, my mom, and she'd be turning on Led Zeppelin and AC/DC. So it was, and then Dad introduced us a lot to BB King and Muddy Waters and all that stuff, man. And then we would listen. I don't know. Like I said, we listened to everything growing up, man. There was
Yeah.
a I'm getting on a tangent here, but like when we were kids, there was a radio station that was called Sunny 100, and where we live very rural North Georgia, and Sunny 100 played the Golden Oldies, is what they called it. So it was the Beach Boys, it was Otis Redding, it was the Beatles, it was the
Cool.
Stones, it was and so we kind of got a vast mix of that, and so it just comes bleeding through, with everything we do. We can't run from it, so we just embrace it.
Yeah, true. And then, of course, you've only just put the album out, but I imagine there's some kind of song ideas kicking about for something in the future. You can kind of never stop that machine, can you, these days?
It never stops. It never stops. As soon as we finish one project, we start working on something else, and we never stop writing, whether it's quality, whether it'll make a new album or not.
Right.
That needs to be seen, but we never stop writing, we never stop working, trying to get better, and we draw inspiration from everywhere. So at any given time, there'll be a catalog of stuff that we need to try to work through, and some of it's, as any songwriter or musician will tell you, half of it may be shit, but it's if you can find one or two in there, that's good.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And have you got quite a busy 2025 plan then? Have you got many shows kind of in the works?
Yeah, we're kind of compiling dates right now. That's what we're doing. We've got stuff coming in all the time, so we're trying to sort through the stuff. Kind of piece together the travel.
Yes, exactly.
And trying just to work through all that. So yeah, we've got plenty of shows coming up this next year. It should be a good year. The new record has been very well received. It's been we're seeing an excellent amount of engagement with it. So that tells me that people are enjoying it, and that maybe they're more likely to come out and see us now than maybe they were before.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
Any plans to come back over here at all, or? Obviously, if you've got something, I'm not asking for a scoop or anything like that. But
No. No, we had an offer to come play a festival over there, and so we're trying to see if it's viable for us to, if we're going to be able to make a trip out of it.
Yes.
So we're in the process of working through that. Hopefully it does come to fruition. That's where we're at. I wouldn't necessarily tell anybody that we're planning a tour.
Yeah, right.
But our absolute ambition and goal is to come back. That is, we had when we came over the first time, it was something like we've never experienced. Like the guys we were talking about is like, oh, this is cool, we were going over there, but we didn't realize how cool it was. It was one of those things where we were excited about the opportunity, but we didn't realize how cool it was. The fact that the scene over there was just so much stronger. Because people enjoyed the music, and I tell people this all the time. When we were over there, we weren't competing with the TV, we weren't competing with the game that was on.
Yeah, true.
Beer in hand, they were in front of the stage rocking out, and then afterwards we were taking pictures with folks, we were signing records, people were, we weren't competing with things that, in my opinion, we shouldn't be competing with. So it was absolutely a phenomenal experience, and then even with the Call of Wild Festival, that was one of the most fun thing that we've ever done, especially with. It stopped. It was raining all evening, and then immediately, right before we started our set, it stopped raining. Everyone came back. We hammered our set, and then it started pouring the rain again. So
it was a sign.
Yeah, it was a sign. It was so much fun, man. I have people from that festival reach out to us all the time, asking us when we're coming back, and that makes us feel good. It makes us feel like that it was well received, and that we thoroughly enjoyed our time over there. Yeah, cool. It is absolutely in our plans to come back.
Yeah, will be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know obviously you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but is there any differences you can kind of discern between the scene over here compared to back home? Obviously, you said we're kind of a bit more eager, I guess, but
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like people are more invested in the music in and of itself. So it's like they people are maybe it's just the I mean, I honestly I don't know. It's one of those things. Just like where I think that a lot of times when you have so much media, it's so oversaturated
mm,
in places. So you know, we could over here like it's very much there's a few top styles of music that are universally accepted. I guess you want to call it that, but like so basically, it's today's like what I call pop country and
mm,
hip hop scene, and then of course your pop music like your Taylor Swift and stuff like that. And anything outside of that, it's like pulling teeth trying to get visibility on. So,
yes,
it astounds me that I was able to that we're working with Wes and some of his company there that we were able to land on so many different radio stations and so many different Spotify playlists. But when I sat down and made over 100 phone calls to local radio stations around here, I was met with, if it's not charted, we don't want to play it.
yeah, right,
So that's kind of discouraging, especially for an artist trying to gain visibility. Um, so there is a massive difference as far as the acceptance of all styles of music over there. And then people who they at the shows even they show up, they get invested, they're enjoying it, they actually go out to hear new music.
mm,
That's something that doesn't happen a whole lot over here anymore. We were met with a lot of we want you to play 3 and 4 hour cover show, not they want you to
yeah,
play
right,
cover songs all night, which is fine. I love covers because you learn something every time you do covers. But
mm,
at some point, and I use this term, I use this line a lot. It's like at some point, "Sweet Home Alabama" was an unknown song, and now it's played in
true,
every bar across the world.
yeah,
And so it's and I tell people if how are people going to learn our music if we can't play it? If we can't get out and showcase our stuff that we wrote, then how are people going to know it? So that's our main ambition with this next year is to really hammer down on a lot of the shows that are fully encompassing of our material. So we'll throw a few covers in there here and there, but for the most part, we want to encompass it with our material. So to answer your question, there is a lot of differences, and we felt like people were more invested over there than they are here, especially in the live aspect of it. Yep.
yeah. I think the kind of southern thing's really taken off again over here as well, and the kind of country mix as well as the rock stuff. So yeah, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. I mean, that's diversifying your music and everything else. So I mean, I think that you know, I think the world is starving for real music again. You know what I mean? I hate that term, but it's all very overproduced anymore, in my opinion. I mean, I know that our record was it was a high quality production, but I feel like there's just so much. It's just overkill.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like people are longing for music that makes them feel something. And stuff, and I don't feel like there's a whole lot of that anymore. It's very what I like to call corporate music. It's
yes.
It's very cookie cutter. It's very so. I feel like people are looking for individuality. I feel like they're looking for something to make them feel something again. And I hope that we're able to resonate with some folks because the stuff that we wrote and the stuff and produced, it comes from the heart. This new album especially, a lot of it has to do with songs of heartbreak. Songs of our area. The song Copper Hill was wrote about a mining town right above where we live.
Yeah, cool.
Where a company came in, they stripped all the land and mined all the copper. Then they took off and left everyone there broke. Essentially, they took all the money, they took all the work, they took everything with them and left. And so, but it's a song about how resilient those people are, because they are a resilient group. And but those are songs that mean a lot to us, because it's songs from home. It's songs about our families and all that stuff, especially like think back to Mama. That was a song that was wrote about all of our moms, and in the video, all of our moms were in the video. So it was it was really cool that we were able to capture that. That's something that means more to us than anything. Is like we'll have that video forever, and
Yes.
our moms,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, and so a long time off when our moms are, unfortunately they'll be gone, and we can look back on that fondly. So that was important to us.
Yeah, definitely. And then just as a kind of lighter final question, is there a dream tour lineup you'd want to be a part of? Anyone you want to kind of take out on the road with you, or hop on tour with a big band or anything like that?
Oh man, like I think we've said this a couple times, but we don't really care who we go on the road with, as long as they're good people and they're people that we can get along with, and because we try to surround ourselves with just good people, and that's we try to do business with good people, and that's important to us. But I feel like that if we had the opportunity, I would love to do like a tour with, like, I guess somebody who's like a diverse artist, like a Cody Jinks.
Oh yeah, that'd
Cody
be sick.
Jinks a lot. Yeah, and then maybe like him. If I had my choice, my personal choice, it would be a tour with Cody Jinks, Sturgill Simpson, and Jamie Johnson. Those are my would be nice. As far as people who are still touring today. Now, if you ask me, from the '70s and stuff, like, yeah, put me on tour with Zeppelin. I want to. I want to watch Bonzo go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, but no, I think as far as today goes, I think that would probably be my dream lineup, just because they seem very real, and they seem like good people. They seem like real people, which is what we're after. We want to make something real with real people, and I think that you know what I mean. That's our ambition, I guess, as far as that goes. Just be able to use our music to touch people, to bring some joy, some light, whatever you want to call it. Like, we just want to be able to help people, man. That's ultimately what we're after. So
yeah, it's definitely a good way of looking at it.